Hello, welcome back to the Micro Brew Skeleton Micro Brew Podcast, where we talk about future, past, current events, or whatever the fuck ails me. Anyway, my name's Roman. Thank you for joining me today. So, tonight's episode is called PsyOps. PsyOps. Yeah, this whole world we live in is one giant PsyOp. One big old psyop. Everything you see, is it's. I'm not gonna say like it's not real, but it's definitely designed to make you feel inadequate, as it were. And it is also. So the definition of a PSYOP, though, is a planned military or government campaign used to influence motives and behavior of a targeted audience. Kind of sounds like Facebook. The key elements of a PSYOP include strategic influence. So you think about different things that are influencing you, like everything on this planet pretty much is an influence, right? Well, sort of, maybe. Yeah. So it's all orchestrated by the Illuminati. Ooh, yeah. And information tactics. Have you ever wondered what Facebook actually is? It's all one big psyop. Gosh, man, when you go on it, it just it's fun. It has some strengths. A lot of weaknesses, though. Like that stuff gets in your head, gets in your brain, burrows down in there. So I try to. I'm like trying to avoid Facebook. I'm trying to go off Facebook. It actually feels better not going on Facebook every 5, 10, 15 minutes, out of my day. It feels a lot better. It's like, peace and zen. Anyway, and pretty much it's shaping how people think. So, it shapes how you think. It shapes how you live your life according to what society views as interesting, as it were. They spread messages. Plain and simple, spreads messages, It's weird. Yeah, PsyOps a very real, very scary thing. Look at this here. The purpose of the United States psychological operations is to induce or reinforce behavior perceived to be favorable to U.S. objectives. They are an important part of the range of diplomatic, informational, military, and economic activities available to the U.S. They can be utilized during both peacetime and conflict. So it can be utilized during peacetime. Let's forget about the conflict. It can be utilized during peacetime. What does that mean? It means we're all peaceful or whatever, and then all of a sudden, bam, a big psyop comes in your face. Pretty scary stuff, So you look around the world, everybody is pretty much all a part of it. All a part of this big psyop we're gonna call 2026, right? Scary stuff. But my podcast will be the number one podcast. That's right, number one podcast in the world. Skullenterprise's The Micro Brew. Brought to you by Michael Trevor 4 on Facebook.com. You can all go there. You can view this. Also, Facebook. Facebook is a PSYOP that I'm on as well, so obviously. But also YouTube. The YouTube. Go on YouTube. Look up Skullenterprises, and you can watch some of my shit there. Also, brought to you by PJ1, Black Label, Chain Lube. This lube, the best shit on earth. It can definitely, it's a performance vehicle chain lube, okay? Improved heavy duty increases chain life, fewer chain adjustments, stays on the chain, O-ring safe, full 7 fluid ounces, exclusively formulated for chain-driven vehicles. So if you ride a motorcycle or whatever the fuck, it's perfect for that. I can probably go an extra like 1,000 miles just by applying this before you get your new chain or new sprockets or whatever. Anyway, back to the potty cast, as it were, Skullenterprise's Microbrew podcast. My number one podcast in the world right now. Wow! Number one, at least in my household. Anyway, so yeah. So the psychological operation is a planned military or government campaign used to influence motives and behavior of a targeted audience. Key elements include strategic influence, orchestrated by the Illuminati, maybe, and information tactics. Yeah. Anyway, though, the psychological operations can encourage popular discontent with the opposition's leadership. Ooh! So the people that are gonna oppose me, they're leaders. That could all work together, right? I don't know what it means to you. Yeah. So by the opposition's leadership, and by combining persuasion with a credible threat, degrade an adversary's ability to conduct or sustain military operations. They can also disrupt, confuse, and protract the adversary's decision-making progress, undermining command and control. Ooh. When properly employed, they have the potential to save the lives of friendly or enemy forces by reducing the adversary's will to fight, by lowering the adversary's moral, and then its efficiency, psychological, can also discourage aggressive actions by creating indifference within their ranks, ultimately leading to surrender. So that's how that's done. Okay. Moving on from PSYOP shit, because PSYOP shit's so weird. It's a lot to go on. Like when you're walking down the road and you see like people's lives that you wish you could live. Well, maybe they look at you and they see the same fucking thing. They're like, well, I wish I was that guy. Or maybe that guy's all like, oh, I wish I was that guy. See, it's all a bunch of weird mumbo jumbo. The integrated employment of the core capabilities of electronic warfare, computer network operations, psychological operations, military deception, and operations security in concept with specified supporting and related capabilities to influence, disrupt, corrupt, or assert. I'm not even going to say that. Something adversarial, human, and automated decision making while protecting our own. I never heard of that word assert before. Maybe you could tell me in the comments what that fucking thing means. Anyway, yeah. So it's all the PSYOP. It's all one big PSYOP. Right? Now, here's another weird thing too, is they're about to have power shutoffs. Ooh, man. Now, let me scare you for a second. You people that like to be watching TV and do this cool things or that cool things, right? Well, guess what? It all just might go bye-bye, thanks to our beautiful data centers who, they just, seems like they need more power than we do. It seems like they need more water than we do as well. So it's called PSPS, okay? These power shutoffs are for the data centers, okay? So they're gonna tell you that it's emergency shutoffs. They're gonna tell you that, it's emergency power shutoffs, okay? They're gonna be so common in the future, they will even have a name called power shutoffs. Power shutoffs, let me see what that's actually for here. Yeah, the power shutoffs for these data centers. Emergency power shutoffs. Kind of creepy. All called PSPS. Very weird stuff. I'm going to tell you exactly what those are for. So the PSPS stands for Public Safety Power Shutoffs. PSPS, okay? It is a proactive emergency measure used by electric utility companies to temporarily turn off electricity to Pacific areas. They can last anywhere from, get this, 24 hours to multiple days, okay? Now ask yourself, how much power do these data centers need? These data centers are so important that they need power from our homes, and they need water from our lakes and oceans, maybe our rivers too. Ushering in the Great American Reset, okay? The Great American Reset is a 2020 economical recovery initiative proposed by the World Economic Forum, WEF, okay, to global economic rebuild global economies. That's what it's trying to do. So this is what they're gonna say. They're gonna say they want to rebuild global economies, okay, more sustainably. Following the COVID-19 pandemic, it focuses on capitalism. Ooh, wow. Great transitions and digital transformation, but has also drawn widespread political criticism and internet conspiracy theories. Yeah, because the internet conspiracy theories are total surveillance grid, like complete and total freaking surveillance grid lockdown. Yeah. But yeah, so they're gonna spread wide political criticism and internet conspiracy theories. Okay, like the micro smart cities that I think or will be the new world we will eventually live in. A micro city is a high density integrated urban development where residents can live, work, and play within a tiny geographical footprint. So that's a micro city. Very strange stuff. And also, these micro cities are all gonna be full of psyops. Okay, just like I said, a psyop is a psychological operation, is a planned military or government campaign used to influence motives and behavior of a targeted audience. That targeted audience will be whoever is living in the micro smart cities. So it's definitely going to be easier to focus on that. Okay, so between 2010 and 2014, psychological operations were renamed Military Information Support Operations, MISO, briefly returning to their original nomenclature in August 2014, only to return to MISO shortly thereafter. Changing the names all the time. All the time. 24/7. Always changing the names on us. Once was good, was bad. Once was bad is good. Sort of a thing. Very, very, very crazy stuff. Very crazy stuff. But yeah, no, when you go on Facebook, though, the PSYOP, the handheld PSYOP, as it were, man, it gets crazy. Like, here's the thing about it, too. You scroll through it, a lot of fake videos, a lot of real videos, a lot of fake videos, real videos. It's even hard to determine what exactly is real or not anymore, which could be the psyop in itself. So when you're walking down the street, maybe you see something that might be amazing, right? And maybe it's not real. Maybe it's fake. Maybe it's AI. You know, we don't even know anymore. Like, what is AI and what's not? You know, the robots might take people's jobs. Hell, you know, it's already hard to find work. I mean, yeah, some people can find work like that, right? And other people can't find work at all. And it's just like it's almost like a double-edged sword right there. You know, some people are loved and some people, I guess, are not. Like, they're like, you shall not work here, or you shall work here. Very, very, very fun. Very fun. I was reading about Colin Powell, though, the other day, and you know what? They were flying in this rickety-dinky little airplane thing, right? I can't remember where they were. Sometime when he was younger. They were flying around this little rinkety-dinky, crappy little airplane thing. You can just imagine it. It's one of those, probably a seaplane that's fallen apart or something like that anyway. So they're flying in this plane. Well, the plane crashes, okay? The plane crashes, and, you know, their pilot was so good that they survived the crash. And then when they came out of that crash, they had the whole island or wherever they're at was just, they pretty much threw a parade for them. They all came out with food and gifts and all standing there ready. But of course, the man was Colin Powell, so yeah, it was pretty weird. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Let's get back to my PSYOP stuff. So it's like I said, psychological operation is a planned military or government campaign used to influence motives and behavior of a targeted audience, which is you. Pretty weird. Pretty weird, yeah. But their definition is kind of like mine. Psychological operations are military operations to convey selected information and indicators to audiences to influence their motives and objective reasoning and ultimately the behavior of governments, organizations, groups, and large foreign powers. Hmm. Just like we might even be the new United States of Israel here soon. Yeah, wait till Israel buys up United States. Yeah, everyone's all like, no, that's not gonna happen. No, that's not gonna happen. But it actually might. It actually freaking might. Yeah. But yeah, so they might have a great American reset, and it's all because Israel might buy the United States, or maybe they already own us. Maybe we are the new United States of Israel. I hope not. I'm not trying to scare anyone. This is all just for entertainment purposes only. But we might be the new United States of Israel. Weird shit. Kind of spooky, kind of scary. And what's going to happen? One, all these data centers are going to be popping up. Okay, so first things first, okay, we have all these data centers, right, popping up everywhere. Data centers, okay, just think about that for a second. And then after that, we're going to have these micro cities, and in between, we're going to have a thing called the Great American Reset. And it's a real thing. It's a real thing. The Great American Reset is a 2020 economic recovery initiative proposed by the World Economic Forum, WEF, to rebuild global economies more sustainably following the COVID-19 pandemic. It focuses on capitalism, green transactions, and digital transformation, but has also drawn widespread political criticism and internet conspiracy theories. Just like I said, ushering in these new microcities. These microcities or 10-minute smart cities, okay? So, what do we know about these? Okay, A, surveillance grid. B, control. And C, a PSYOP. Gonna have all these three things right within your own backyard. Wow, but how convenient it would be, though, to just walk over to the store, like 5 minutes away or whatever the frick. You drive your little electric cars around, stuff like that. Stuff like that. Yeah, pretty weird, pretty crazy. And like I said, total surveillance state. Now, before this happens, though, I don't know. They're teasing. A lot of people online think that, well, World War III is possibly imminent, or whatever the frick you want to call it. It's right there. It's right around the corner. Okay, so they think like, oh man, people do think that something bad might happen. They think it's going to be either a disease. Maybe we're going to go to war, like actually going to war. But the war is already here. The war is already here, so they delicately put it. Yeah, the war is already here. I mean, you notice though, like how they, everything kind of feels a little weirder. I don't know if it's just me. It probably is just me. I hope it's just me. Hell, I'm been sober now for probably 3 years. dabbled in some shit that I don't really want to talk about. But let's just say right now I'm good, nice and sober, clean, clear-eyed, even though you can't freaking see them. Yeah, so we're good. We are good. I only do natural things at best, But yeah. So maybe it's just sobriety. I don't know. Hell, maybe it's Wi-Fi. Maybe it's all the electronical waves. Maybe it's CERN. Maybe CERN's doing this to us. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's all the above. Maybe it's just my imagination, though. I hope it's just my imagination. I really do, because Colin Powell knows better. He knows better. But yeah, what's up with all these fires we're having now, huh? Our air quality is finally a lot better from this undisclosed location. Undisclosed. I like that word. Undisclosed. Anyway, my podcast is going to be the #1 in the world. It's pretty amazing. Pretty fan-frickin-tastic. So, yeah. So, the thing about these micro cities, though, is like when you have to burn down, like, places to build them and you want to make an excuse like, oh, we have an underfunded fire department, or oh, it was debris on the side of the road. Thanks, Palaces. I guarantee you, maybe 10 years from now, they're going to rebuild that, and it's all going to be micro-city based, starting with the flock cameras. You guys know about the flock cameras? Weird flock cameras. So you got these vigilantes go around at night, climbing them, destroying the flock cameras. So weird. I mean, I understand, like, I don't know. I do understand destroying them. I mean, I guess. But at the same time, I like cameras. Because, half the shit that I got in trouble for, I didn't even fucking do. So maybe if I had, like, flock cameras all around me every time I committed a crime, I would say, like, look at the flock cameras. Look at the flock cameras. Tell me if I did it, Tell me if I did all that you frickin' say. Tell me that the police reports are 100% right. Tell me they're right. Because they're all so wrong. And that's the thing about these, about the flock cameras, though. Like, a lot of people see bad, and I always write in comments whenever people, like, post that they're destroying them. And I'm always like, okay, I understand hating flock cameras, but what are you doing that you don't want the world to see? What are you doing that's so like sacred or so bad even or so righteous or whatever the fuck? What don't you want to be seen? So you got to question them. What are they doing that they don't want seen? I mean, there's a part of me that almost thinks these people that go around destroying the flock cameras are like drug dealers and shit, right? So, of course, they don't want to be seen, but people are going to make them like heroes and shit. Like, oh, wow, he's so cool for destroying that flock camera. Yeah, it's just like, I don't care if there's cameras around me. I don't care if I'm being recorded. I don't even care if my smartphone or my smart TV or whatever the fuck I have, right? I don't care if they're recording me, because I'm not really doing anything wrong, really, what I do. I wake up, try to wake up as early as I can. I wake up around 6. I exercise a little. I do like a cold shower, cold plunge thing. I try to eat breakfast. Shit like that. I try to do my yard work, I try to stay busy. I try to make these little podcast things that I have, I work, damn it. I work and I work and I work. Well, I don't work a whole ton, but I do work, right? And I don't care if I'm being recorded. Hell, I would do a live stream in my house for 24 hours. Only I just don't like people looking at where I live and stuff like that. But, I would do a live stream for hours. I would do it for 24 hours. I don't give a fuck. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The flock cameras, I mean, come on. Like, I understand if you don't want somebody that you don't know knowing more about you than they should. Story of my fucking life. Hell. So that's what I say to the flock cameras. I say, whatever. Just let it fucking be. Let it be. Instead of going around making your streets look like garbage by destroying all these cameras and shit like that. Yeah, like I said, they're probably only destroying them because, they just don't want to be seen dealing or something. I don't know. You could be a flock camera vigilantes. They call those flock camera vigilantes, but what are they doing? Who are they helping? Are they saving people? Are they beating up bad guys? Nah, we're just trying to make mediocrity seem awesome, and that's all people are trying to do. I could get a mask too and climb one and blah, 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 blah. I'm not doing that. I don't feel like doing that. I say go take down a drug dealer. I say go save the children, go help people, all that crap. Do a podcast, help preach. I don't know. Yeah. But thank you for watching my number one show in America. And that is the Micro Brew Podcast by Skullenterprise. The number one podcast in the world. But yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Alright, so did I go over everything I intended on going over? I guess. But yeah, it says it all right there. You got the United States Psychological Operations. Okay, like I said, they renamed it Military Information Support Operations. Very wacky things. Very wacky things. But yeah, and when they gotta like destroy cities and destroy stuff just to build, just so they have an excuse to rebuild our cities as micro smart cities. I mean, some of you might not be able to understand this. Some of you people probably can't handle this load of information that I've bestowed upon you. Because it's pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy stuff. So how much longer does America have? I don't know. I'm not a prophet. I can't really see the future. Maybe a little, but nothing that makes any sense right now. Yeah, this whole thing though with the micro smart cities, see, they want to reshape America. It is a real thing. Look up the Great American Reset. Look up the Great Reset. Okay? They haven't said it's going to be by 2020. They're a little late. But it probably just might happen though, especially when you start hearing about more fires going on, more fires in the land. It's not good. Especially if they're man-made clouds, like this last one in Spokane, Washington, I think. Yeah, some guy. I guess it was a man-made fire. Now it seems like Spokane could even be potentially coming up another smart city. I don't know. It's just a conspiracy. Are they doing this on purpose just to rebuild them as micro smart cities? Think about it. It makes fucking perfect sense. And why are they allowing homeless and drug abuse to rampage through the streets? Why are they allowing people to do whatever the fuck they want to do? I can't do whatever I want to do. Every time I walk on the street, I get somebody like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I'm not doing anything, so I'm just walking. Anyway. Yeah. No, not really. Actually, I've been left alone lately, thank God. But, yeah. The Great American Reset, though, is a 2020 economic recovery initiative. Pretty crazy stuff. And if you can actually really grasp the concept of the shit that I am spewing out today, it's pretty crazy. It gets heavy like weight. It gets heavy. Yeah. But first, they want to distract you, though, through it. So, why don't you just turn on your fake news and play your little video games and not worry about shit. Because that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, man. But, yeah. Yeah, so I guess, so that was a real thing, though, the Spokane fire. Spokane fires got pretty bad. Now we got other fires elsewhere. I try not to follow it because I don't need to know all that. I don't need to know that the country's burning down and they're going to rebuild micro smart cities. But guess what? I know it for some stupid reason. Yeah. But this whole thing was PSPS and PSPS. Once again, PSPS is public safety power shutoffs. Okay, and I'm just going to go over it again. It is a proactive emergency measure used by electric utility companies to temporarily turn off electricity to specific areas. They can last anywhere from 24 hours to multiple days even. Okay? Now ask yourself, how much power do these data centers need? I swear, I've never heard the term before. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they've said it before, but this is the first time in my life I have ever heard that term, PSPS, Public Safety Power Shutoffs. Never heard that term before in my freaking life. Never heard that term. And then also, a lot of people think we might just run out of food. And then if we run out of food, what then? Who's killing who here? My neighbor's going to come over and ask me for food, or am I going to go over to their house and ask them for food? Nobody's going to ask anybody for food because it might never happen. We're all safe. We're all protected. None of this is going to happen. No, not at all. We're not going to have PSPS. We're not going to have food shortages. We're not going to have the Great American Reset. And I don't believe in PSYOPs either. No, this is all just for entertainment purposes only. It's all just for entertainment purposes only. Oh man, let this poor world. And the thing is, see, the past creates anger, right? The future creates anxiety. So we have anger going into anxiety, going into more anger. That sounds fun. You know what? You just got to keep your head up. You got to keep your head up. You have to entertain yourself. You have to create good algorithms. Very, very important to create the good algorithm. Okay, I try to create a good algorithm by looking up good stuff online. Try to keep it PG-13, I try. No, there's no pornography addictions. There's no Reels addictions. Reels, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's no stupid addictions, okay? There's no meth use. There's no heroin use. There's no fentanyl use. There's no coke use. I don't even know what all the drugs are, But if there is drug usage, keep it natural. Keep it 100% natural. Don't go to the man-made products. Man-made products will fuck you up. Might even kill you. Might even destroy your life. Is the man-made products just might do that. They very well might. You never know, but I'm pretty sure most time, 9 times out of 10, man-made products are not good for one's health. No. Gotta keep it natural. Keep it natural. If anything, you keep it natural. Yeah. Oh, man. But, yeah. No, So, let's say, the Great American Reset, okay? For instance, you got a Great American Reset potentially coming. Who knows if by the time that it gets here, who knows if this country will even be called America anymore? Maybe it'll be called the United States of Israel. We don't know. We don't know. It's stressful to think about, though. It's stressful to think about. We got to think about it. But also, I try to think about my own life and my own stuff I'm going through, right? Trying to be like all the great podcasters, as it were. Yeah. But yeah, you can watch this on Facebook or YouTube. Under YouTube, Skullenterprises. Okay, just type in Skullenterprises and some of my shit will pop up. Also, you could look me up on MicroTrevor4 on Facebook.com. So definitely, it's a good alias. I like it. Yeah. But anyway, though, do you ever want to know what a psyop is? You can always contact me. I might contact you back. But yeah, these micro cities, though, this ain't no joke. I've been talking about these micro cities now for years. Okay, at least for the past 2 or 3 years now. I discovered these in a drug addicted haze. But it dawned on me one day. That guess what? Guess what's gonna happen? Yep, the micro cities. Whole place are gonna be turned into them. Like, you got buildings, close by. You got like a little like a walking path or like a little electrical vehicle path. You got a store right there. You have this whole city all within 10 minutes of each other, brand newly, freshly built. You're gonna have like these mega structures, right? With who knows how many people, thousands of people living in them. If you look up micro cities online, okay, you'll see what I'm talking about. They will show you some of what I'm talking about. They'll show you these giant buildings that house like thousands of people in them. They even have like little Walmart. They have a little McDonald's at the bottom. You can shop there. You can even get your groceries. Well, that's shop. You can shop for clothes, devices, electrical stuff. They're going to have a grocery store down there. They're going to have like a little exercising path. But you'll only be able to leave like so many times, or I don't even know how it's going to work. It's going to be weird. There's a lot of Americans. You're not going to like that. We're used to our yards. We're used to freedom. We're used to freedom. That's all I'm saying. We're used to staying inside, playing our video games, or going to work at our leisure, or doing whatever, doing this or that, or this and that, going and flying helicopters, or whatever you people do. We're used to that, okay? We're not used to being confined in a building, being told, you can only go outside of your house 3 or 4 times a week or a day, or however they do it. Now, you may ask yourself, how are they gonna pay for these micro smart cities? Well, they might be federally funded as well. You might not have to pay anything in exchange for security, in exchange for your captiveness, pretty much. I don't want to be captive. I don't like being captive. Being captive sucks. Being in captivity, as it were, is not very fun. And these micro smart cities with the total surveillance grid, you never frickin' know. Could be worse or it could be better. We just don't know. I remember in school, it's like we were told that, you need a pass, to go to the bathroom, right? Where's your hall pass? Well, they'll be saying that every time you walk down the street. Where's your pass? Where's your hall pass? And traveling, there's going to be all like these stupid checkpoints all over. You won't be able to leave your state without going through a checkpoint and getting scanned and stuff like that. Maybe, I hope not. This is all just a creepy movie thing that I like to recite in my head. That is the future. Anyway, I really do hope this has been somewhat educational. Hope you had fun. And just remember, folks, stay safe out there.